Hello, thanks for joining me. I'm working on this Honda NBox custom today and I thought I'd bring you along. So this is a 2012 Honda NBox custom GL package if you want the full title. It's a K car. If you want to learn more about what a K car is, then head over to andrewsjapanesecars.com where I will fill you in on the details about that. I've imported this from Japan. It's just arrived. You'll notice it's still pretty mucky. This is a beautiful purple metallic with a gold flake in it. It looks absolutely gorgeous in the sunlight. Not at the moment so much because it's a bit dirty. I'll come on to why that is. So I am more than capable of cleaning cars, but when the car first arrives, what I like to do first of all is get it mechanically sorted out and checked over, because before I can register it, it needs to have an MOT. And one of the first things I like to do in terms of getting a car ready is to change the oil. So just give it a basic sort of oil change service. That's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to be changing the oil and oil filter and also changing the air filter. We'll probably check the coolant is up to spec for the UK as well. So this is a 658cc 3-cylinder petrol engine. So it's got quite a small oil capacity. I think it's about 2.8 litres. I'll come to that when we've drained it and we're coming to change it. I'll show you the engine bay. Not a great deal to see. This one, for reasons best known to the person who fitted it or maybe paid for it, has an aftermarket horn thing to give a sort of an echo effect to the horn when you beep it. I say that because it might get in the way of taking the top off the airbox to change the air filter, but we'll see. So I think I might be able to actually do this oil change without jacking the car up. And I'll show you why I think that. So just under the car there at the front, there's the sump drain plug, and there is the familiar blue Honda oil filter, and they point forwards and they're really close to the front. There's enough space for me to get my hand in, so I thought, why not, let's try and do this without jacking it up. So I'm going to start by warming up the engine. Okay, the engine's warmed up, so I'll bring you down. We're going underneath the front of the car here, just really underneath where the number plate would go. You can actually see just about, you can see the oil filter through the number plate hole, but you're going to get a better view if I put you just about there. So, drain plug. I'm using a 17mm socket on a long extension. It's a 1/2-inch drive, which is a bit of a sledgehammer to crack a nut, but there you go. I've got the extension of the right length and it's angled so we can reach it really nice and easily from the front of the car. Well, that oil's not terrible, but I'm glad I'm changing it at the same time. Let's put it that way. This car uses 0W20, 0W20 if you prefer, so it's quite a thin oil. Thankfully, this also looks like it's one of those vehicles where the filter is close enough to the drain plug that you can actually use the same drain pan for both. Now, I know that sounds like a small point. Right, I'm sorry dear viewer, unfortunately you don't get to see me taking the oil filter off and spilling a little bit of oil on the floor. I could have got away with it, couldn't I? But anyway, my memory card was full and I hadn't noticed until after I'd taken the filter off. I'll tell you what I did just for completeness, I guess. So it turned out it had a HAMP filter on, which is good because that's what's going back on with the replacement one as well. HAMP is quite a well-known brand of sort of Honda parts in terms of filters and stuff like that. So I just used this filter tool here with a 3/8 ratchet and extension, and it came off quite nice and easily. I'm just letting it drain now, so I think we'll probably move on to the air filter while that's happening. On to the air filter then. By the way, I've never worked on one of these before, so if I appear a little unprepared, at least you know why. So it feels like it's this hose at the front. That's stopping it from moving. Partly, but not completely. Seems to also be this main intake hose at the back. There we go. Sorry you probably couldn't see much there, but that was the only place I could get my hand to it. So as predicted, the mighty Mitsuba Arena 2 horn control module is in the way. If I have the time, and if I can do it without completely oh, you've cable tied it at both ends, good stuff. If I can take it out without dismantling the whole car, I think I'm probably going to get rid of this. Phew. Oh well, probably worth doing. A little bit, not terrible, but a little bit claggy. Here's our replacement. You might be wondering about spark plugs, by the way. I'd realised I didn't mention it at the start. So this one's done 94,000 kilometres, so they'll be due soon, but they're not actually due yet. The tab goes at the top because there's a little tab on the airbox that engages with that, so make sure you got it in the right place. Let's have a quick gander for leaks and stuff while we're down here. All looks very good. There's a little lug on this air intake hose to help you make sure you've got the alignment correct and you've pushed it on as far as it needs to go. And this very helpfully has a little stop collar on it as well, so you can't over tighten it. Okay, while we're still waiting for the oil to drain, let's have a quick look at the coolant. It looks good. What I mean by that is it clearly isn't water, which is a strong start. Okay, so I use one of these, a refractometer, to do this. So get the drops of coolant. Have we got enough there? Yes, we have. So we've got a complete covering of that window, and then I'll try and take a picture of what I see when I look through it. Okay, looks like the oil dribbling has slowed down a little bit, so let's just have a clean up. So just a little extra for those of you interested in this sort of thing, the HAMP Synergy filter made in Japan actually has Marla branding on it, which is quite interesting. Well, if you like that sort of thing, as I say. On we go with the new filter. There's still the occasional drip coming out the sump drain plug hole, so I might just give it a little longer to drain a little bit more. There's not much oil actually coming out still, but I'm in no rush, so may as well let every drop of oil that we can get out run out. All right, I'm happy that that's drained sufficiently now. I don't have a torque setting for this. The eagle-eyed of you will note that there's been a paint mark where it was before, but I'm going to do it by feel. And I must say, lining up that paint mark feels tighter than I'm prepared to go. I'm just cleaning the oil off with a bit of good old brake cleaner. Let me know if I've missed any bits, won't you? You can probably see better than I can. Time for some fresh engine oil then. I think I got my volume slightly wrong when I told you at the start of the video. So in the owner's book it says 2.4 litres for a change without a filter, and if you're doing the filter as well, 2.6. So if I put 2.4 in, start it up and see where we are, we should probably be about right. Should show you what I'm using, shouldn't I? Miller's XF fully synthetic 0W20. This is to API SP and a whole load of other API standards, but essentially it's beyond the standard required for this engine. Ooh, nearly. I thought we were going to have the embarrassment of not being able to take the filler cap off then. And here comes another 1.4. In case I haven't made my views completely clear on this matter, this is one of the most important things you can do for an engine to keep it running smoothly and get a long lifetime of use out of it. I think the recommended service intervals or oil change intervals for this are 5,000 kilometers, is 5,000 kilometers. Let's see what we've got. Okay, that's, don't know how well you can see, that's up to the full mark, but of course we haven't started the engine yet, we've got an empty filter. So let's run it, check for leaks, and then have a look at the oil level again. So the engine cold warning light, or the blue low temperature light, has gone out. That's about all we've got in terms of knowing the engine temperature on one of these, aside from plugging in the scan tool and looking at the actual coolant temperature. But it's had a bit of a time to warm up, let's put it that way, shall we? So let's switch off. The engine's been stopped for about 10 minutes or so. Let's see what we've got. So I don't know how well whether you can see that. I can see that. That's about halfway up the dipstick now. So now it's just a question of topping it up, which I won't bore you with because that's basically adding a bit of oil, seeing how you get on, adding a bit more, etc, etc. You know the drill. Thanks for joining me then for this bit of routine maintenance on this 2012 Honda NBox Custom. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. You can also consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already, so you get to see new content as I put it out. For now then, thanks very much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you again for the next one. Bye.